Hello and welcome to BOI Weekly. I'm Kayode Alayode. The mandate of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is to create an enabling environment to stimulate industrialization for micro, small and medium enterprises. And that does not leave out the large enterprises, protecting domestic businesses while attracting foreign direct investment and ensuring a coordinated and integrated approach to Nigeria's trade and economic policies. Some robust assignment there. Well, the ministry serves as the control room for other departments and agencies focusing on different aspects of this mandate to ensure that the country's tripartite gear of industry, trade and investment is properly oiled for optimum results. Some of these departments and agencies include the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council, NIPC, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, Nigeria Industrial Policy and Competitive Advisory Council, Nigeria Office for Trade and Negotiations, as well as the Bank of Industry, just to name a few. Today on the program, we would bring you up close and personal with representatives of some of these agencies so you can better appreciate what they do and be better positioned to engage them productively as the need may arise. I'm Kayode Alayode. Stay close for details.
The mandate of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is to create an enabling environment to stimulate industrialization, especially medium and small-scale industries, domestic investments, and attract foreign direct investment, and to ensure a coordinated and integrated approach to Nigeria's policy.
Just as the name implies, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is focused primarily on promoting industry, trade and investment. And it's our considered view that the most important role we have is to be the enabler, to play, to basically help government as a whole provide that enabling environment for industry, trade and investment to thrive.
Our mandate is founded on the key areas. Create an enabling environment for industry, trade and investment in Nigeria. Implement the Nigeria Industrial Resolution Plan. Champion the cause of Nigeria's MSMEs as a means of creating jobs and achieving inclusive growth. Proactively attract long-term local and foreign investments. Foster the integration of Nigerian-based businesses into regional and global value chains.
NIPC was created to encourage, to promote and to coordinate investment in Nigeria. Broadly speaking, I see those objects as boiling down into four principal functions. The first one is projecting a positive image for Nigeria as an attractive investment destination, essentially providing quality aftercare to people who have already invested in Nigeria and who have one challenge or the other, or who require hand-holding in getting into Nigeria as an investment destination. I find with many existing companies, the value that NIPC adds often rears its head when they have challenges with one government agency or the other.
We are a DFI. DFI means a Development Finance Institution. Basically, we are to help to ensure some of the policies of governments. For instance, we are a bank of industry. One of the major problems of the industrial sector is access to finance at rates that make sense. In Nigeria today, people are borrowing money at between 20 and 30% per annum. In the industrial sector, they are beset with a lot of problems. These are the same guys, apart from the high interest rate they have to pay, basically each one is like a government on its own. You have to have your own borehole, you have to have your own power generation, you have to have your own health care for your staff. So by the time you put all these costs together, it makes it very difficult to compete. So part of what we are supposed to do at Bank of Industry is to make funding available at single digits and long-term money. And also to ensure that some of these factories, the ones that are dead, can be brought back to life. The ones who are alive can be expanded. And to have, most of the Nigerian commercial banks, don't have long-term money. So part of what we do is to ensure that these monies are given out at good rates, at long term. We support industries with backward linkages. We support industries that employ a lot of people. We look at areas of emphasis for government, like the creative sector, in all of those areas. And that's part of what we do. There's advocacy for those who are in the industry that we do. If, for instance, where you are, you can produce enough in Nigeria and you need government to come in to assist you through tariffs, we are there to make a case for you to government. So these are some of the things that Bank of Industry does.
Our vision for the ministry is to promote economic growth, create jobs, and generate wealth. Our mission is to formulate and implement policies and programs to attract investment, boost industrialization, increase trade and exports, and develop enterprises.
The main objective of the Industrial Council is to implement largely cross-cutting issues, issues that affect industry today and inhibit growth. So what are the issues that are inhibiting additional investment or disincentivizing investment? The first one, if I look at the Critical Infrastructure Subcommittee, is power.
The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, was inaugurated in July 2016. This was the administration's flagship initiative to reform the business environment, attract investment, and diversify the economy.
So the ease of doing business intervention is one that is dear to everybody's heart. It's dear to the Vice President. Immediately the minister was appointed. This was a priority area he wanted to focus on. It's dear to other agencies in MITI, like NIPC, NEPC. It's something that sits on the heart of trade and investment in Nigeria. So because of that, we've all come together to deliver an agenda. And over the last, let me say 3 years, we worked in a strategic, systemic manner. The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council was inaugurated in July of 2016. It has, like I said, the Vice President as chair and the Minister as Vice Chair. It has about 10 other ministers, Minister of Power, Minister of Finance, Minister of Foreign Affairs Information. It has other people like the Central Bank Governor, of course the Head of Civil Service as members. It has representation from the private sector. Later was expanded to have representation from state governments. Lagos and Kano State have representatives on the council. It also has representation from the National Assembly and from the judiciary.
The World Bank's 2018 Doing Business Report, released in October 2017, with Nigeria moving up 24 places from 169th to 145th. Nigeria was also recognized as one of the 10 most reformed business climates in the world.
Did you know that the biggest driver of growth and job creation in the Nigerian economy now is not currently the oil and gas or hydrocarbon sectors of our economy? It's services, which accounts for 54% of the GDP, the wealth of the country. It's, and when you break that down, when you begin to break that down, is what I guess you already know is one Nigerian to another. It's innovation, it's our digital economy operators, it's those working in the area of e-commerce, it's our software engineers who are now very, very aggressively being headhunted from major economies in the world because of their abilities in writing software that can deal with development challenges and gain access to markets.
If you ask us what's the one thing that is the priority of the ministry, and I would say of the government, frankly, from point of view of really working with with businesses, working in, with the private sector, with small and medium enterprises, with all the players in the economy, is to provide an enabling environment, an environment that is helpful and supportive for people to go about their business and for people to, frankly, do whatever they do and do it without the system being a bottleneck or a deterrent. We want the system to be enabling, to be facilitating, to be helpful to people as they go about their business.
One of the biggest things that we have done recently is sign an MOU with Volkswagen to bring them back into Nigeria, for them to once again produce vehicles. And as we all know, Volkswagen is a significant company because it is the largest auto manufacturer in Europe, one of the largest in the world, and it is really big on electric vehicles where the industry is headed. So having Volkswagen agree to come back into Nigeria is a big plus for the ministry, for the agency, and for the Nigerian economy.
As part of the agenda of Mr. President under the ERGP, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, it's important for us to diversify the sources of foreign exchange, try to achieve structural transformation by getting a lot more output, a lot more jobs, a lot more taxes and economic activity coming out of the non-oil sector. And one of the ways that we have learned from recent economic history, at least all of the economic history of the 20th century and the early 21st century, is that one of the quickest ways for poor and developing countries to grow and achieve transformation is by focusing on manufacturing. Industrial activity, manufacturing creates lots of high quality jobs in a way that mining and agriculture cannot over the long term. So countries that want to grow and countries that have grown and countries that grew in the 20th and 21st century, most spectacularly China, did so by focusing on export-oriented manufacturing. And one of the tools, one of the catalysts for achieving all of that growth has been the use of special economic zones. And these are areas where government offers very generous incentives, world-class facilities in terms of infrastructure, an environment with ease of doing business that encourages significant foreign and domestic investment into such economies.
The federal government has this idea that they're going to drive manufacturing by creating locations, spaces where they can put infrastructure. That is where you have 24-hour power, where you have broadband communication, where you have roads that will connect the place to other places. Anything you're going to do in that place, you're not going to have program of infrastructure. So that's the MINE program, Made in Nigeria for Export. So many locations that, were chosen, but there are 3 pilots. Enyimba, that is Aba, Lagos, and Kano. And that's how we plugged into the program. I think it should be one of the most important programs Nigeria should really do now.
Project Peer. The objective of Project Peer is to transform each of the registries into an effective and efficient modern intellectual property office consistent with good practices across the globe and the ease of doing business policy of the federal government of Nigeria, particularly with respect to transparency and the acceleration of the approval processes.
PEER stands for professionalizing the organization and operations of the registries. E is efficient service delivery. A is automating the processes and workflows, while R is responsiveness to the needs of the stakeholders and managing their expectations. So we're looking at these deliveries to actually sustain way beyond, and that's why the word peer, standing for longevity, meaning whatever we deliver, whatever the outcome is, we expect it to be sustainable for a very long time.
The opportunities that have arisen from implementing the project are that, with respect to the administrative structure for intellectual property rights in Nigeria, the turnaround time or the challenges of the past are being cleared up, and so people can now register their trademarks within a reasonable time. People can register their patents and industrial design within a reasonable time.
The federal government of Nigeria realizes the importance of intellectual property, IP, as a key enabler of the development of the economy.
They've impacted my business by putting me in good stead with my clients. Most of my clients are international clients. 90% of my clients are international clients, And we've been having a tug of war. When you go out for conferences, it's all about Nigeria inefficiencies in the Nigerian system, in the Nigerian IP system, But in the last 2 years, we have been able to go to conferences with our heads held high. Why? Because we are able to deliver on what the clients expect us to do. And we've done those things, we've issued certificates, we've forwarded certificates to our clients, we've responded to issues, we've filed agreements, we've done all the administrative work, not that the clients expect, at least outside the quasi-judicial functions of the registry.
There is significant reduction in the waiting period for processing applications. Applications are now better tracked such that there is visibility regarding operations, ability to detect problems early before they crystallize into backlogs. The digitalization of records of the registries commenced to address the problems of missing files and inaccessible records. And hospitality.
We focus mostly on 5 areas: ICT, entertainment, hospitality, like manufacturing, and tourism. Now, the essence of these areas, because we see them as high growth areas. Now, if you look at the ecosystem in the SMEs, if you want to bring about economic development, you cannot rule them out. So the essence of GEM is, empower the SMEs to grow. When they grow, they generate employment. Employment to bring about household income growth, which in this time will give each household the purchasing power to go to the market and be able to spend.
This support to MSMEs is channeled through an online platform called the Business Innovation and Growth (BIG) portal. Through this platform, the project provides bespoke interventions training, technical assistance, grant schemes. More than 89,000 small and medium enterprises registered on the BIG portal. Over 900 Nigerian MSMEs have benefited from grants to implement their business plans. At least 40 local consulting firms trained to deliver technical services to MSMEs. Over 750 Nigerian MSMEs have benefited from the services of the project's trained business development service providers. Over 21,000 Nigerian MSMEs have received technical assistance, including training offered by EDC and Lagos Business School.
One of the beneficiaries of the GEM program at the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments. So we build enterprise-level software for development agencies, and so we were fortunate to take advantage of the GEM program. One of the things, the key or cardinal thing that the GEM program did for us was to endorse us and then create a platform that allowed other international institutions to be comfortable in engaging us for our services directly.
The project has supported the entertainment industry by funding 2 online music distribution companies with a view to reduce piracy and improve the income of content developers in the music industry within the project's period. At least 200 SMEs will benefit from these services. 400 graduates trained in video and sound editing under support to the entertainment industry. 600 Nigerians were trained in various artisan skills for the construction sector to reduce the influx of foreign skilled labor taking Nigerian jobs. GEM supported and continues to support business environment reforms that are being implemented by the EBES Secretariat. Training for public staff, knowledge transfers from consultants to allow for institutional memories and sustainability plan for the project. The project has so far catalyzed the creation of over 26,000 jobs in the 5 sectors of its focus. It is pertinent to note that a large amount of GEM's interventions that are aimed at creating jobs are not yet matured.
I work as the Chief Operating Officer of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, which comprises of market money, trader money, and farmer money. So it's a program that has been set aside or set up by the federal government to give credits, loans to people at the base of the pyramid. Think about market women, artisans, youth, and farmers.
Under the GEEP program, we have 3 main products. We have the market money, we have the farmer money, and we have the trader money. And all of these target, give loans ranging from 10,000 naira at the trader money level to 50,000 naira at the market money level. And when we're working with farmers, it goes a bit higher. And so loans sometimes get up to about 300,000, 350,000 naira. And basically all this is available to qualifying participants. And what the administration have done is to simplify and make it very easy for people to access these loans.
Over 1 million Nigerians have been empowered through our activities.
Up until date, in a space of about 2 years, we've disbursed over 1.5 million loans to Nigerians who, majority of whom have never accessed loans before, majority of whom have never used financial tools before, majority of whom have opened the bank accounts or the mobile wallets for the purpose of these loans served by our agents. And all of this documented electronically in a way that we can track and serve them going forward. And they continue to build a financial history for themselves.
The Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment has, since the beginning of this administration, embarked on a number of transformation projects, which I'm sure you must have heard about. One of them is a project that is called SME Portal, a PPP-based project, which is primarily a single window portal, a trade gateway, whereby SMEs, MSMEs, can interact with government to obtain government services, especially services that are related to industry, trade and investment.
We have done a lot, but there is more work to be done. Let's work together, and by so doing, you'll find that we could create a better country for us all.
So there you have it. Those are the departments and agencies that are working hand in hand under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to boost local and foreign direct investment in Nigeria, as well as stimulate trade and growth of local industries. And to be sure, the Bank of Industry is central to this assignment. So that's our show for today. Many thanks for watching. To learn more about the Bank of Industry, visit their website at boi.ng or any of their branches closest to you. You can also tweet at me at KAY Alayode or at the Bank of Industry at BOI Nigeria. It's possible to apply for BOI's loans online. Simply download the BOI SME Loan app from the Google Play Store and follow the instructions. I'm Kayode Alayode. Bye now.